Hello, everybody. If you saw my latest bookish tropes video, you can see I wasn't kidding when I said I was going to try something new. If this is your first time here, welcome, and you should check that out. I will still be yapping about book-related content, but we're out of the main tropes. This series is more about the particulars that go into stories. Like today's topic, action scenes. Who doesn't love a good action scene? It pulls you into the world, making you feel you're right there with the characters, getting punched at. Okay, maybe it's not the most peaceful form of immersion, but when the goal is making you feel invested in the character's safety, an immersive fight scene does the trick. I've read plenty of stories where there's action and you're in the seat trying to dodge imaginary blows. I mean, haven't we all yelled, "Look out!" At least once? This is where you make me feel more sane by saying, "Yes," and pretending I can hear you. But it's the truth. I think what helps these scenes so much is thinking about them like how they are in movies and TV shows. That's what I do. When I'm writing, it makes it easier to describe if I can basically see it in my mind. So, am I suggesting that you watch a bunch of action movies before writing action scenes? Kinda. At least some. Of course, you don't have to, but it can definitely help give you some ideas for what's even an option. There's a big world out there beyond the small town of kicking shins and delivering uppercuts. I feel like action scenes are all about the dynamics and variety. You can have someone push off a wall to give them more power behind a move, or use neat tricks. Maybe they're especially trained in martial arts, so they're over here doing roundhouse kicks. That would be neat. Maybe the other person they're fighting has no idea what type of move they're doing. Heck, the main character could be the clueless one, and is just realizing how out of their league they really are. Of course, action isn't only about literally fighting either. Chase scenes can count too. Car chases, plane chases, and all of that. I'd give the same advice. Even if you don't watch a lot of those, just do enough you can picture it in your head. In my experience, if you can think it, you can explain it. It's pretty difficult to ask a reader to picture what you're saying when you can't even picture it yourself. Here's another reason why I like letting the scenes run in my mind. It helps with pacing. Pacing is very important, but it's also subjective. Yeah, that's probably not too helpful. Sorry. Still true though. You have to go off your instincts with that. I'm always trying to find a balance so the action scene isn't so fast that the reader wonders why it even existed. It also isn't so long that everyone's yawning. If somebody sets off an explosion and the reader checks their watch, something went very wrong. So the TV rule, as we can call it, until I forget and change it to something else, would be to imagine the scene in the actual in-universe time. If it would work well on the screen, it should work well on the page too. Then there are the highs and lows. I really have fun with this part. Just like how a long sequence can get boring, it can also get boring if only one person is ever winning. There's so many ways to get variety with this. Maybe the hero starts winning, then the villain does something and gets the advantage, or vice versa. Now you can totally have it one-sided. Maybe the villain is just that good and absolutely destroys the hero in a battle. It would be pretty mean, but I'd respect anybody who had their MC brutalized like that. That would be a writer after my own heart. It's just good to keep it in mind that every fight shouldn't go this way. Same for those chase sequences. If you're going to have multiple of each or either, just think of ways to mix that up. There could be new factors that help one side over the other, another one that neither group expected, or someone who has just been training a lot and their skills get a chance to shine. Some books I've read that got me really excited by their action scenes were Just One Command by M.E. Harker and Residual Hate by Steph Manser. The former for a chase scene in space, and the latter for action with magic. They're both authors in our Tumblr Bookstore, so you all should check out these books and that community. As for the obligatory self-promo, Changing Waters Joel had a lot of action in it too, and is set in an underwater kingdom. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe for more. I'll see you next week.